Hi, I'm Theo, and I'm going to be presenting my magazine, Solo. So, Solo is a rock genre magazine, as you can probably tell from the mood board that I've given you over there. I've chosen this genre because there's a growing number of rock venues in North London, and bands too. Another reason that I've chosen this is because I play guitar, rock guitar, and it really interests me. So the purpose of this magazine is to inform all readers of the latest and upcoming rock bands and venues in North London. It gives the target audience an opportunity to go and see those bands in the venues live. So the objective or purpose of my magazine. So the objective of my magazine is to inform the readers about the North London-based artists and bands, along with the venues too. With this, I'll include necessary information about where and when to see them and where the music venues are. So this allows the reader to have a full understanding of the rock-themed events that are taking place, and it gives them the opportunity to go and see them live. This fulfills my objective to give the customers the convenience of finding where their favourite rock artists are performing. So our aim is to inform and entertain our audience and hopefully become one of the most prominent North London magazines. Fonts I'll be using. So my first font will be Prime Time. This will be the masthead. It's big and bold. It complements the word solo because of how strong it is. It is a perfect font to be used as the title, the masthead. Another font I'll be using is Didot. This font will be used on my subheadings. It's a serif font, which means it has the lines around it, under it. This is to symbolise the history of rock because it was most popular back in old times.
Older days.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
The mood board. So I've included loads of images of rock bands in concert. This kind of gives the reader a good idea of what will be included in the magazine and what it will be like if they actually went to the events that I've included. So the target audience. So my magazine's target audience will be from 18 to 25. I have said that it will be for males mostly. It is a masculine genre, therefore I will be predominantly targeting males. I've chosen ages 18 to 25 because the upcoming artists will be similar age to this. This makes it easy for them to connect with the artists, the readers, and they may want to buy it more if they see similar kind of ages to them. Obviously, they're more likely to go out and buy the magazine, they're fitter, they've probably not got, some of them might not have a job yet, they've probably got quite a lot of free time. My secondary target audience is anyone who has the interest in rock music. This also caters for older people because they might have listened to a lot of rock music growing up, they might still be interested in it. They also might want to buy a magazine because they might prefer to read on physical paper, so I have to have a secondary audience which caters for them too. So my competition. My main competitors are classic rock, Kerrang and rock sound. Mine is a North London based magazine, so it allows me to report on local artists instead of always reporting on big names who people have already heard before. So this gives me a unique selling point of introducing the target audience to people that they may not have heard of before. My other competitor is Time Out because they report on different venues. So my magazine is partly based on providing the venues for the target audience, but Time Out is a competitor because they also do that too. So I need to make sure that I do something different to them when showing the venues. So my place in the market. So I've mapped out where my competitors are within the market, and I've found kind of a gap in the market where I'll be able to target different people. So yeah, it's more niche, more based in this area, which makes it a bit unique from the other ones. So the price. The price of my magazine would be £3.49. This would obviously be available in store or online. We also offer a yearly subscription. This would be £32.99 and you'll receive 12 issues throughout the year, as it's a monthly magazine. This would be around £2.75 a copy. Classic Rocks is £34.99, which means that my price is more competitive. Therefore, customers may switch to mine or just choose mine if they've not had a subscription to a magazine yet. As we're looking to become one of the most prominent magazines, what we're going to do is, after the first year of £32.99 from a subscription, we're going to give the loyal customer a £29.99 for years ahead, which gives them a cheaper price to loyal customers, and it may give other people an incentive to join the subscription in the future. So the sketch, you may not be able to see it on there, so I've got it here as well. It's just there. So it's only a rough drawing. Luckily I'm not getting marked on my artistic skills, but this is a sketch of my front cover. It includes a mid-shot photograph of two of the band members who I'll be including, and obviously some other articles that will be in the magazine. As you can see on this, I have included a CD because once a month we'll be giving a CD in the magazine to the customer, because it gives a bit of incentive for them to buy it, and it also shows them an insight into what they're reading. You can download it from our website as well, which allows them to do it digitally. So, distribution and marketing. So, methods of distribution and marketing will include posters for my physical advertising. This could be at music venues or just around places that are populated by lots of like music shops. This means that we won't waste our posters on places that people might not want to buy the music magazine. However, I will also do it on social media. This is because the reach is huge. We'll be able to show loads of people about the magazine. It also is free, so it wouldn't come out of the cash flow, which would make it quite a sensible option to use. I use Google AdWords because this is free and it places your adverts on websites where people would be more inclined to go onto your website. So some legal and ethical issues that I need to think about are the artists and bands in my magazine. I have to make sure that I've gained permission from them to use their face and content in my magazine, or else I could get sued and then it would lead to a lot of debt. The magazine has to be written by all our employees, no plagiarism involved. I have to make sure that it's our content and our content only. Some ethical issues, I would have to not be so obvious about it being an only males magazine. I can't write that it should be an only males magazine, or else, of course, in this day and age, you get discriminated for that kind of thing, so I have to make sure I'm very discreet about it. Thank you for listening. Have you got any questions?
Wow.
Thank you, Theo.
Brilliant.
Right, I didn't write any questions down actually.
I wrote lots of positives,
Yeah.
which is good.
Thank you.
Because I think you've covered a lot of ground and you've done it very thoroughly. And that's to be utterly commended. I really like the fact that it feels like a local magazine.
Yeah, it's the strongest one we've seen,
Yeah,
isn't it? Really?
absolutely the strongest one we've
Relations
seen.
to
It
that.
doesn't really talk about, oh, I'm going to leverage lots of big names to get people interested.
Yeah.
It's purely about North London,
Yeah.
and that's really great. Really like that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of anything to say. You did actually, weirdly, I mean, this is only a point of kind of talking, conversation really, is talked about growing number of venues in North London. Is that true?
So I did my research and there were a lot of rock venues that are about, I think there's a couple of new ones up in the middle of London, but yeah, I need to do a bit more research to see.
Because I know a lot of the old ones were closed down, which is a bit of a
Really?
shame, yeah. The good old ones. I remember this story. But I think, if you can justify, I think that's great, and I think the focus on venues and bands playing and that sort of live feel, which is a really big
pubs
deal
and
now.
clubs and stuff.
I mean, this is how the bands make their money now, isn't it? It's
exactly.
it's kind of gone full circle from selling music to actually playing music as being your main, income, which is amazing.
It was monthly, was it?
Yeah, it's a month.
Yeah, which is fine for the price of the CD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Price
cool.
of CD, marketing, really good coverage. I did want to ask about the kind of gender bias thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to bring up.
I know, because I was kind of told that it would go beyond gender, but I feel like for this magazine, if I'm going to be targeting specific people, I feel like it is a predominantly male genre, and of course I wouldn't put it out there so much that there's only males. I'd more target them, I guess.
No, I think it's a very valid point. And the reason I say that is that, every now and again I do read rock magazines, it's my sort of music, and I read classic rock magazines.
Yeah.
The most recent copy was almost entirely about females in rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was deliberately because of the gender bias that's
Yeah.
in rock. Which is why I sort of thinking that's really kind of current, it's really interesting that you brought it up.
Yeah.
But I'd steer clear of saying I'm going to bias my magazine towards males.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think, you could accept that that's possibly in the industry,
Yeah.
don't target it
Fine,
deliberately.
yeah.
Is there a woman at all on any of these groups or bands?
So I know a fair few of bands because I'm kind of involved with that kind of stuff in my music, and there's not one woman, which again kind of made me point it towards the male direction.
Right.
But I understand.
There's lots of female-fronted bands that are sort of pretty rocky and new. And,
what I meant was, if you've got literally nothing on there, you're sort of missing a trick. Because what you don't want to say is women are not allowed to buy this.
Yeah.
And at the moment,
So
by
I
not
can
having
include
maybe
something.
including one female artist
Yeah.
will mean that you might get another secondary or tertiary.
fine.
to be fair, by identifying it as that there is a gender bias within the music genre, putting a female artist on the cover of your first magazine,
Yeah.
that's a bit of a
Stand out, that's your
differentiation.
USP, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I might think about that.
Might be worth thinking about. It doesn't have to be just a single artist, but a band that's fronted by or has a proportion.
Fine.
One more thing, the content of your presentation, you pulled up a matrix that showed you where you were positioning your magazine within the market. Brilliant. And then you followed it by the biggest ream of text I've seen, which was talking about price points and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you could have just had another graphic that said, look, this is us, this is how much it costs for, the other rock magazines, and you can see very clearly and very easily in a nice graphic. And it would just continue that thing through.
Okay.
I think that's just something to think about when you're presenting.
Theo hates infographics, don't you, Theo?
Yeah.
Thanks, Theo.